So when you're filming, sometimes there's an awkward moment where, you forget to turn the mic on and you get 2 or 3 minutes into the video and you're like, wow, I don't have any sound. Not that that was what happened on the last time I tried to film this or anything. What's up, guys? Big Clive 34 coming at you today with Cars and Clive, the antidote for your automotive hangover, coming at you every Monday at 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Now today, if you guys have been following my story, just a quick little synopsis on what I'm doing right now. While I tell you this story time is coming. You're going to want to hear this one. I promise you that. But just a little quick synopsis on what I'm doing. I'm currently heading to the wheel shop. I dropped off my Weld, the front runner, because I ran it up on a curb, major curb rash. So stay tuned till the end of the video if you want to see how that went. I'm going to go pick that up and check it out and see how they did, because they fixed the wheel. So anyways, let's get into story time. So this guy I think it's Pill Baxton is his name. I'm sorry if I butchered your name. I'm really bad at that. I apologize. He left a comment saying something along the lines of, Clive, you've covered street racing and, been around that kind of stuff for a while now. You probably have some stories. Tell us about your favorite story or closest call or whatever during a street racing deal. So we're going to dive into the situation. I'll kind of set the scene for you. It's a brisk Mexican morning. Lots of cars out this day. There was a car meet and it was a pretty good turnout. Normally when the weather gets a little bit colder, people shy away from coming out because, they don't want to stand around in a freezing cold parking lot sipping on their coffee and talking about how miserable their life is because they spent all their money on their build. But anyways, there was a lot of people out this morning. And we're going to talk about our friend. We'll just call him Racer A. So Racer A has this Corvette. It's a heads cam car, a few other modifications done to it. And Racer A and his buddy head out to this stretch of road somewhat near the meet spot. It's a long highway with nothing on either side, and no businesses, no people, no traffic at this time, and it's just wonderful. It's just basically begging to be roll raced on. So him and his buddy with a GT500 head out, and they do a little bit of roll racing. They get into it, and it's a pretty good race. The Shelby has aftermarket blower on it and a couple other modifications. Nothing serious. It does make some good power though. I think it made like 750, 800. So they do a couple pulls toe to toe. The guys go back to another meet spot after this original meet. They hang out for a little bit and one of their other friends shows up in another Corvette. Now this Corvette is a little bit more modified than Racer A's Corvette. Whole long block is aftermarket, higher compression heads, bolt-ons. So in other words, this car is probably faster than Racer A's car, but racing is fun. So these guys both enjoy racing. They're just, the low drama type, and they're just ready to go out there and roll. So these guys head out. Now, Racer A just got his stuff together. Like, the car was just built. He's getting used to it. He never had a car like this before. So they head out there to do a couple of races. And Racer A, they start from about 40 or so. Racer A is in second gear. Now in his car, it's probably better to go from first gear, but he has 19-inch wheels, like the factory wheels on a Corvette, on the back of his car, and even with drag radials, traction isn't very friendly, and he's still trying to familiarize himself with this car, so he starts from second gear. They line it up. The more modified car just takes off down the road. Racer A is like, shit, my car is a lot slower, and that's bad. I kind of expected it, but whatever. They keep rolling. He decides to shift it down to first. Now, his car ended up being a lot quicker in comparison to the more modified car than he thought. Guys line it up again. He downshifts. They go at it from first. The more modified car takes off, probably gets maybe 3/4 of a car length to almost the car length out in front of Racer A, but they stay in it. So, they throw second gear pretty quickly, throw third gear, and Racer A is pulling this guy back in, like reeling him in inch by inch by inch. It's pretty slow because, as I told you, it was about maybe a car length that the more modified car got out on him, but Racer A is pulling it back in. Like, it's going to be a close race. They throw fourth, it's getting closer, and they even throw fifth, which if you know a Corvette, fifth is moving. I think fourth gear, I'm not sure. I'm probably gonna get crucified here, but I think third gear or fourth gear might end around 150 or so, and they throw fifth. Racer A still isn't caught all the way back up to this more modified car. They keep going. A bridge is coming up, like the bridge that I'm on now, but it wasn't as big of a bridge. It was like a little bridge. And Racer A decides to let off. They let off doing close to 170, out in the middle of nowhere. Nobody's around them, right? They in their pool, everything's fine. So they go down, they make a loop back around. Everybody's, you know, getting ready to go back to the meet spot and kind of hang out for a little bit. And they make their turn around and come back. Now, when they turn around and come back, they're done racing. Like I said, they're getting ready to go back to, you know, hang out wherever. And perched up right in the middle of the road, right where they got done racing, you guessed it, there's a cop sitting right there. So, just imagine that feeling of doing 160, 170 and having a cop sit in the middle of the road where they just raced at. Now, from what Racer A has told me, this was probably the biggest mood swing he's ever had, from scared to so joyful that he couldn't even barely contain himself. So anyway, in a gear that's probably too high for the speed that they're going, they roll by this officer, and the officer sits there, and they keep on going. The officer sits there. They look in their rear view mirrors. Officer is still sitting there. And basically, at the end of the day, I guess nobody really saw anything, so in the eyes of the law, nothing ever happened. But just imagine being in a situation where you are pretty sure that you are about to get nailed, and then all of a sudden something drops down from heaven above, and all of a sudden everything just goes away. And I think that both of the drivers went home, put their cars in their garages, and just called racing quits for a good amount of time after. Anyways, that's the story that I have for you guys today, and now we're gonna head over to this place that I dropped my wheel off at to check out the progress on it. Well, I can't tell where the fuck up was. Alright, so we're out here at Sports Car Tire down in Ellesmere. They didn't pay me or anything, but just so happy with the work that they did that decided to give them a little plug. But here's the wheel. Can't even find, I know it's just a camera shot, but you can't even really find where it fuck that. So awesome stuff. Awesome. Definitely happy with the wheel. Definitely love the way that thing came out. Now I have to polish the rest of them so they actually look as good as the fixed one. The car is back in commission though. That thing was giving me a pit in my stomach looking at this screwed up wheel. Such first world problems, but it's so true though. Thank you very much for watching. Please, I invite you to tell me your craziest racing story down in the comments below, along with telling me what you want to hear about next week on Cars and Clyde. Do you want to hear more? I don't know if I have any more crazy racing stories actually. That might be about it. This has been another episode of Cars and Clyde. Thank you guys for riding along. Like it up. As always, if you're new, remember to subscribe. I appreciate you guys. Until next time.